Welcome students to our YouTube channel PharmaX Tech, the division of excellence. So in the last video lecture we see the controlled drug delivery system. In that we see the some basic concepts of this controlled drug delivery system. So in the part 2 we see the some advanced technologies and some newly technologies from these controlled release drug systems. So in the first part we see the controlled release drugs. There are two subtypes. So the first one is sustained release and second one is delayed release. Okay. So in that the releasing rate, that means the releasing rate from the drug, it should follow the zero order reaction or zero order kinetics, and also the elimination by the first order reaction. So this is most important that the releasing from the drug should follow the zero order, and also the elimination process, that means the elimination way, this elimination process takes place by the first order reaction. Okay, so next, the most important physiochemical properties of the drug for the drug absorption, they are aqueous solubility and the pKa value. And the frequently used solvents for the partition coefficient is 1-octanol. So this is most important for the GPAT, which is the question asked in GPAT, the which is frequently used solvent for the partition coefficient, and the right answer is 1-octanol. And the value of K at which the optimum activity observed is approximately 1000 as upon 1 in, that means 1 in 1-octanol by water. So, and also the drugs with partition coefficients higher or the lower than the optimum in general poorer candidates for the formulation into the controlled release dosage forms. And also the bioadhesive drugs, drug delivery systems, in that they remain localized in a certain area of the gastrointestinal tract, that means in GIT. So this is most important that the drugs with partition coefficients, they are higher or lower than the optimum in general poorer candidate for the formulation into the controlled release dosage form, that means CDDS. So next we see the some advantages for the drugs suffer from the stability protein and other bioavailability problems. And the main forces of attraction for the protein bindings are van der Waals forces, hydrogen bondings, and some electrostatic forces. These are the main forces for the attraction of protein bindings. Okay. And also the amitriptyline, bis-hydroxycoumarine, diazepam, diazoxide, dicumarol, and novobiocin forms the less than 95% bindings in these drugs: amitriptyline, bis-hydroxycoumarine, diazepam, diazoxide, dicumarol, and novobiocin. And also the hydralazine, salicylamide, nitroglycerin, isoprotenolol, and chlorpromazine, and levodopa produce the intestinal metabolism after the oral dosing, and the drugs like proxyphene, nortriptyline, phenacetin, and propranolol, and lidocaine forms the first pass hepatic metabolism. So next we see the therapeutic index, and therapeutic index formula is TD50 upon ED50, where TI means the therapeutic index and TD50 is the median toxic dose and ED50 is the median effective dose. So the TD means toxic dose 50 upon ED, that means effective dose 50. So for the calculation of the therapeutic index, this formula is most important for the GPAT is TD 50 upon ED 50, that means toxic dose 50 upon effective dose 50. And also this therapeutic index is less than 10 is relatively safe, and therapeutic index is greater than 10 in that apobarbital, digitoxin, phenobarbital and digoxin. So these are the examples in that TI less than 10. The drugs like apobarbital, digitoxin, digoxin and phenobarbital. So next we see the some systems of these controlled delivery drugs, controlled drug delivery system. So the new is oral dosage form, and in that the diffusion system, the rate of drug release determined by the diffusion. So and there are two types, like in the diffusion system there are is reservoir devices and matrix devices. This matrix devices also called the monolith. So in the reservoir devices, in that the drug surrounded by the polymeric material, and also the devices micro encapsulation materials used as a membrane barrier coat. They are hardened gelatin, that means hard gelatin and methyl cellulose and ethyl cellulose. And in matrix devices, that means called monolith, in that the drug is dissolved or dispersed in a inert polymeric matrix. And also in the reservoir devices, the material used as a membrane barrier coat, they are also hydroxyl propyl cellulose, polyvinyl acetate, polyhydroxyl methyl acrylate and waxes. They are the materials used as a membrane barrier coat in a reservoir devices, not in matrix devices. So the matrix devices, the rate of drug release is not the zero order, and the material used in the matrix devices, they are insoluble plastics. So the insoluble plastics like polyethylene, methyl acrylate, polyvinyl chloride and methyl methacrylate. And the second material used is hydrophilic polymers, and the examples of these hydrophilic polymers, they are methyl cellulose, hydroxyl propyl methyl cellulose, sodium carboxy methyl cellulose and carbopol. And the third one is fatty compounds. The fatty compounds like carnauba wax and glyceryl tristearate. Next we see some preparations of this system. So the preparations, like in that the drug plus matrix materials, and this produce the compress as a tablet. So in the preparation we mix the some drugs and the matrix material, then they compress as a tablet. And the examples of these matrix tablet or matrix devices example, preparation example is Lantab tablet, also known as SIBA. So next we see the dissolution system. So in the dissolution system, the rate of drug release determined by the dissolution, and the preparation, one is less than the salt or derivatives, and 2 is less than coating drug with slowly soluble materials, and 3 is less than the incorporating in tablets with slowly soluble carriers. And also the most commonly used coating materials, they includes the gelatin, shellac cap, carnauba wax, ethyl cellulose and cellulose acetate butyrate. Next we see the encapsulated formulation, also known as in dissolution system, and matrix in dissolution systems. Okay. So in the encapsulated formulation dissolution system, the drug release rate determined by the thickness and also the dissolution of polymer membrane, and in matrix dissolution system determined by the dissolution of the matrix, also called the monolith. And next one is osmotic system. So this osmotic system is pH independent, not dependent. So the osmotic system is pH independent, and in the osmotic system the drug release rate is determined by the use of osmotic pressures. And the preparations, they include the core material osmotically active drugs or inactive with osmotically active salts from the forms the surrounded, it's surrounded by semi permeable membranes, and the pore size is larger than the minimum particle size to maintain the hydrostatic pressure, and also this pore size is smaller than the maximum particle size for to maintain the slow release of the drug or tablets. And also the material used as a semi permeable membrane, they are polyvinyl alcohol, polyvinyl chloride, cellulose acetate, polyurethane and ethyl cellulose. These are material used as a semi permeable membranes. So the next one is ion exchange resin. So in the ion exchange resin, the drug is bounded to resin by the repeated exposure and also the prolonged contacts of drugs with the resin, and in that the rate of drug release controlled by the diffusion, and the modification of release rate can be made by coating drug resin complexes, and it forms further improvement known as a pain kinetic system. And then the drugs containing drug resin granules are treated with impregnated polymers such as polyethylene glycol 4000, that means PEG 4000, and at last, and then retard rate of swelling in water takes place, and this retard swelling rate of swelling in water forms after then the further this retard rate of swelling in water further coated with water insoluble polymers such as ethyl cellulose, and this forms the rate limiting barrier to control the drug release system. So the next we see the prodrugs. So the prodrug, it increases intestinal absorption, and this prodrug reduces the local side effects. And a prodrug is a compound formed by chemical modification of the biologically active compounds that will liberate the active compound in vivo by enzymatic or hydrolytic cleavage. And this prodrug, it is not classified as controlled drug delivery system. So this prodrug is exception in controlled drug delivery system. So definitely this is not class of this controlled drug delivery system. So the prodrug is a different term. So the prodrug is a compound formed by chemical modification of the biologically active compounds. So if any drug has also a prodrug. So if the drug is not affected, that means when you use the drug for treating any disease, so this drug is not used for this disease, so you use the prodrug of this same drug. So the next we see the swelling and expanding systems. Okay, in that the hydrogel polymers, these hydrogel polymers are 10 millimeter, that means 10 mm in gastric retention time is prolonged, that means residual time and absorbs and 100 times, and also its dry weight of water is produces the heavy adhesive property. This heavy adhesive property increases the resident time. So next one is floating system. So this floating system, so for the floating system, for poorly soluble drugs or the unstable in intestinal fluid. Next is the preparation of the floating system. In that the dosage form less dense than the gastric fluid, so that it can float on them by incorporating a number of low density filters. Okay, and the examples like hydroxyl cellulose, lactose, and macrocrystalline cellulose, that means MCC. So for the preparation of floating system, dosage form less denser than the gastric fluid, so that it can float on them by incorporating a number of low density filters. And examples like hydroxyl cellulose, lactose, and macrocrystalline cellulose. Okay, second one is parenteral dosage form. So the parenteral dosage form, this parenteral dosage form controlled release drug therapy possible for the intramuscular, that means in muscle route, IM intramuscular, and they implant and transdermal devices only. So transdermal, that means dermal means skin and transmit means inside the skin. So this parenteral dosage form they implant and in transdermal devices only they are used. So in aqueous solution, so this aqueous solution increases the viscosity of medium, and also this possesses the increases the molecular diffusion and localized injected volume, and also the absorptive area reduced, and this forms the rate of drug release is controlled. So in the parenteral dosage form, the steps like increase viscosity of medium, then this forms the increase in molecular diffusion and localized injected volume and absorptive area reduced, and this process gives the rate of drug release is controlled due to these processes. By increasing molecular diffusion and localized injected volume and absorptive area is reduced, then rate of drug release is controlled. Okay, so next we see the thickening agent use. So which are the agents that are thickening agents? So the thickening agents like methyl cellulose, sodium carboxyl, methyl cellulose, and polyvinyl pyrrolidones. So these polyvinyl pyrrolidones, methyl cellulose, and sodium carboxyl methyl cellulose, these are the thickening agents used in the process for tablets or any drug. Okay, so the first process is complex formation. So in the complex formation, macromolecules are used, are either biological polymers or such as antibodies, and protein and synthetic polymers such as above 3 like methyl cellulose, sodium carboxyl methyl cellulose, and polyvinyl pyrrolidones. And these complex formation, in that the complexes can also be formed between the drugs and the small molecules such as caffeine. So you drink the coffee in the morning. So in the coffee there is an active drug which is caffeine. So due to caffeine there is a coffee. So this coffee bean is also known as caffeine. And also in the complex formation, the drug molecules larger than these complexing agents, and this gives the association constant greater and forms the more stable complexes. And also this complex formation, this approach is commercially used for the adrenocorticosteroid therapeutic hormone, that means ACTH, and insulin and vitamins B12. So adrenocorticosteroid, thyroid hormone, insulin, and vitamin B12. This complex formation approach is commercially used for these. So, and also the for example is if ACTH in that the zinc tannate complex suspended in gelatin solution, they are two processes. In that first one is tannic acid acts as a complexing agent, and this zinc in the zinc tannate complex. So the zinc tannate complex from the tannic acid acts as a complexing agent, and in the gelatin solution this gelatin inhibits the protein binding of these ACTH. Okay, so next is aqueous suspensions. So these aqueous suspensions, the rate limiting step of the drug release is in aqueous suspension is the dissolution, and the approaches for welcome students to our